So what do you think the difference is between Western psychology and maybe perhaps going on a ride on the Eastern side, or in particular with Japanese concepts? In the West, we're always trying to analyze our feelings and thoughts. And although that can be very helpful for people in the moment, I find in the very overly hypervigilant world and state that we live in today, sometimes talking about our feelings and thoughts is just too much for us to handle, even when we're consciously aware and talking about it. I really like to go into this Mitori state of mind. It's a Japanese concept that is coming from Zen Buddhism that says that it's okay to be with wherever you're at that moment, that you don't necessarily have to change anything right then and there, that you can be okay with not being okay. And in a world in which we're always expected to be on or perfect or understand everything or analyze ourselves or even term it, it's actually okay to not be okay. That's something that we almost have to teach ourselves again. Much of what I found in traditional psychology approaches didn't always work for me because I often felt like I was walking away feeling as though I had done something wrong in any particular moment or experience in my life. By analyzing it, thinking about how I could have done it differently, naming it, and maybe even breathing into it, I would often walk away with sometimes feeling worse. And so what I really wanted to feel was just feel immediately better. No matter how much we want to trick ourselves that the mind is not necessarily a prison guard of sorts, I just wanted to start feeling better sooner. And so although I understand that there are some reasons for why traditional psychology is important to analyzing why we might do things in the subconscious, why we are responding with triggers and in our past and trauma, I think today what people just want to feel is relief. And how can we make ourselves feel better sooner? That's where a lot of somatic exercises come in, because when you can actually feel good in many different ways and make yourself have a habit of doing that, then instead of choosing to feel bad about something, you'll actually choose to feel better sooner. What may have worked for people 5, 10, 20 years ago might have been enough back then to make things feel different. But look around. Our world is looking different and responding differently. I believe that most people are already starting way above a baseline regarding the amount of trauma and hypervigilance that they live in every day. Not to mention all of these devices overstimulating our nervous system. And so if you don't already have a practice to get back to baseline, then anything you might be discussing or analyzing or thinking about is already going to seem overwhelming. So it's important to check in with yourself. It is helpful. But what is even more important is, how can I make myself feel better, feel good, feel calm? And often tying it into just very simple things. It can be a simple movement across your chest. One of the things I love that my son did is he took one of our attachments to a vacuum cleaner once, the hard bristled ones. And he said, Mommy, don't throw it away. And he started doing it across our skin. And it felt so great. It felt like a lymphatic brush. It was deeper and it's very soothing. And I notice that whenever he's overwhelmed, he will grab this little brush, or even myself, and he'll just start brushing my skin. So we have to find little ways that we can actually calm and self-soothe that doesn't necessarily always require a complete analysis of what we're thinking about every single moment and going back in the past and analyzing people or analyzing situations, or even critically judging ourselves that we couldn't handle that moment differently. Sometimes it's just enough to feel better by feeling good.